What's up, y'all? It's your boy, CoolStoryBrobat, and this is going to be the first of many UU Open replays, starting with Round 1's replays. So this is one of the highlight matches of Round 1. This is Highways versus Heysup. These are two very good, established players, and if I had to deal with either of these guys in Round 1, I'd be frustrated, because I would be questioning my odds of succeeding and going to the next round. And as far as team analysis goes, both of these guys are using like a bulky offense of sorts. What Heysup's team looks like he's using something I've tried before. Toxic Spikes Tentacruel plus Sub-Roost Q-Rim. Functionally and type-wise, they go together very well. They cover a lot of each other's weaknesses, and they also like pair well together naturally. Tentacruel has access to Toxic Spikes and Rapid Spin. Rapid Spin to get rid of Stealth Rock so the Q-Rim can, have more health because it's weak to rocks. But more importantly, Toxic Spikes, because Sub-Roost Q-Rim is a staller of sorts. It's very bulky. It can set up on the likes of Blissey and Alamomola and just chill in front of defensive teams. And when you add Toxic Spikes into that, on top of Q-Rim's ability to pressure stall, it becomes very annoying to deal with on paper. Added for some bonus effects are things that I actually haven't tried, but he's using Jellicent for spin blocking, Clef Key for added spikes. Most likely that's a Stealth Rock Gliscor. If it's a Swords Dance Gliscor, then he's using Stealth Rock Mega Aerodactyl. However, if that's not a Stealth Rock Aerodactyl, that's most likely a Hone Claws variant, both of which, can also benefit from the added effect of Q-Rim and Toxic Spikes wearing down the opponent's team. Now, my experience trying that type of a playstyle is that the team is bulky and offensive, but it's not enough of either to really succeed, in my opinion. But maybe Heysup can succeed where I failed. Highways' team, however, is automatically the more dangerous of the two here, just by the fact that he's packing Conkeldurr. The big error is that Heysup's team has nothing that can threaten Conkeldurr immediately, nothing that could kill it in one hit, nothing that really scares it. So Highways just has to use his pivots of Slowbro, Gliscor, Clef Key, and Polion to pivot out and double switch, get Conkeldurr in safely, and just start blowing holes in Heysup's team. And that's going to be his key to victory. Heysup's means of winning is going to be how well he can play around this matchup with Conkeldurr. So to get us started, we have a double, they both lead hazards, Clef Key versus Gliscor, they both trade hazards off. Heysup's going to double his own Gliscor on a predicted Earthquake. Highways is going to U-turn his Gliscor out. He's going to go to his Aerodactyl. As Heysup reveals, he is Swords Dance Gliscor. Now, the fact that he has Aerodactyl in, he has to switch out, go to Clef Key, scout to see if Aerodactyl is packing the Aqua Tail. He indeed is packing the Aqua Tail, does a nice chunk to Clef Key. Aerodactyl has to switch out because it fears Thunder Wave. Highways goes to his Empoleon here. It can scald, get a cheap burn off on something. It can defog, get rid of the hazards on his side of the field. So Heysup is going to go to his Tentacruel. Empoleon is fully paralyzed. He's going to next click. So Tentacruel is going to Rapid Spin, get rid of the hazards on his side. Empoleon is going to use Knockoff, which is pretty good because this hinders Tentacruel's ability to recover, meaning it's going to get worn down very quickly. So Heysup double switches to his Gliscor, and Empoleon goes for default, gets rid of the hazards on his side, and then Highways doubles to his Mega Aerodactyl, takes the knockoff, which does a pittance to it because of its Mega Stone, and double switches to his Conkeldurr as Heysup goes to Jellicent. He switches back out, goes to his Tentacruel on a knockoff, and takes a big hit from Conkeldurr. Finished off with a Mach Punch. Conkeldurr's in. It is a threat. It is something to fear. It is something to respect. Here it is. So Play Rough does like half to Conkeldurr, but because of Drain Punch, it pretty much just nullified most of that damage, which is crazy. So this is kind of like where it shows how big of a threat Conkeldurr is. He goes for the Mach Punch to try to finish off Clef Key, but he double switches to Jellicent, and then doubles back out on the Clef Key as Highways goes for his own Clef Key. Now Highways is at liberty to just click Spikes here, because Heysup let his Tentacruel die. His spinner's dead, but the thing is, having a Clef Key versus Clef Key matchup isn't really efficient because they'll both just get spikes up on each other. Highways knows this and decides to just go for the Scald, kills off his Tentacruel, goes for the defog as Heysup switches into his Aerodactyl. A lot of double switching going on here. they're trying to both outplay each other. Heysup really has to be aggressive with a double switch to not let Conqueror get free turns. He goes to his Jellicent on the slow bros that sets up the Calm Mind. Empoleon double switches out. He switches into Empoleon, I'm sorry, because Jellicent can still handle slow bro even at +1, you know, with a combination of Will-O-Wisp, Hex, and Taunt, and just sit there in front of it until it dies. So he's gonna Hex the Empoleon. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it doesn't enough, I guess, since the Empoleon's paralyzed. Not much more he can really do to it. You know, Jellicent had endured a knockoff, which is also good for highways. And now Klefki's gonna hit Jellicent with a Prankster Toxic, which is very bad for Heysup, because now this thing is ultimately getting worn down like crazy. You know, Prankster let him outspeed the taunt, so all he had to do was switch out. He switches to Glasgow on the Hex, and it does a nice amount, but unfortunately because of Glasgow's poison heal, it's not going to do enough to like really threaten it, that it can't just sit there and roost in front of it. Now that Jellicent's toxic, Glasgow got rocks up, you know, pretty much. He's in a good position. Highways is in a very good position right now. It's looking questionable if Heysup is going to be able to pull this off, because he just lost Jellicent, he just lost his Rapid Spinner, he lost his Spikes user. He's pretty much almost unable to get hazards off minus his Aerodactyl here. So he goes to his Aerodactyl. Highways just makes the safe play, goes to his slow bro, takes the Stone Edge, you know, with lots to spare. It's gonna have to force him to either switch out or sack Aerodactyl. Slowbro goes for a Calm Mind, knowing he could take another Stone Edge very easily. Unfortunately, Heysup misses 2 Stone Edges back to back, gets hit with a +1 Scald, it's dead. Neither Q-Rem nor Glasgow is going to be able to set up and break through Slowbro. Now it's at +1 at this stage in the game, so Highways just got a clean 6-0 on Heysup in game 1. It's looking very good for him right now. Now, whether he can clinch game 2 with the same luck is all in the mix. So stay tuned and let's see how that goes. Alright, so game 2 of round 1. Both competitors decided to up the ante. These teams are looking a lot more offensive than they previously were. You know, Heysup responded to his weakness to Conqueror by this time, bringing 4 fighting answers. He's got a Cofagrigus, he's got a Mega Beedrill, he's got a Togekiss, he's got a Latias. I really like Cofagrigus. You know, it's been gaining some traction in UU lately as a solid answer to Cofagrigus, or for the suspect test anyway. It's been gaining some traction, and also answers Caesar in a similar way, because when it takes a contact move, such as Knockoff for instance, it changes the target's ability to Mummy, which means that Pokemon such as Conqueror and Caesar, which rely on their abilities to do big damage, are essentially neutered in the process. And Ghost is actually a pretty decent offensive typing. You know, combine that with Cofagrigus' access to Nasty Plot, Trick Room, and Hidden Power Fighting for roundabout perfect coverage, this makes it a pretty big threat that can neuter Conqueror, set up, and proceed to threaten the enemy team all within like 2 turns, which is pretty great on top of its excellent bulk to take a hit. So Cofagrigus is definitely a big threat. Heysup's key to victory here is going to be, you know, trying to take advantage of Conqueror late in the game, but in a situation where Empoleon is either weakened significantly or removed, where Suicune is weakened significantly or removed, and where Crocodile is at least within KO range of HP fighting. If it can do that, then Cofagrigus can turn this game over on its head by itself. And thanks to Ghost DMZ, which also boosts Shadow Ball, it takes a lot less from Knockoff and gets to hold on to its item at the same time, so that's definitely a big threat I'm seeing. That aside, Highways' team also hates the thought of Z Thunder Latias. Like, because Empoleon is like his main answer to Latias outside of Scarf Crocodile, trapping it with Pursuit or hitting it with Knockoff, so he has to really play around that and scout for it, see what he's working with here. Now, let's see if Heysup can get his revenge on Highways for getting 6-0 in round 1. This is going to be a very interesting game. This can go either way, and it's really going to come down to who's making the bigger plays here. That's really what I'm seeing and how it's going to go along. So, with no further ado, let's begin. So Highways leads with a Scarf Crocodile, Heysup leads with Swampert, and a pretty good lead, honestly. He's going to go for a Stealth Rock here on this turn as Highways goes to... Oh, he's going for Scald, I'm sorry. Thought he would go for Rocks, okay. So, He's gonna go for Scald as the Suicune comes in. He's gonna risk taking a Scald on a Swampert just to get his rocks up, you know, that's fine, okay. He's going to go to his Latios on the Suicune because that's kind of his only real answer to Suicune, you know, in most other bulky waters, honestly. Kind of a shortcoming in Heysup's team building, but he can still play around it. He went for Thunder on Crocodile, thus immediately revealing he's Z Thunder. I personally would have Draco Meteor, but, you know, he most likely was anticipating the Empoleon switching, so he got rid of his own Latios. He got rid of Heysup's Latios very early, so very good play on Highways' part. He sends in Togekiss on the Empoleon and double switches to Swampert as he switches into Suicune. So he's going to stay in, he's going to go for the Earthquake on the Suicune. He has revealed in fact that he is defensive Swampert. So he's going to take another Scald to the face. Kind of the only other thing he has that really even wants to take a Scald. He's going to go for the Roar. It brings in Empoleon. Now he can either Earthquake or he can switch out. Highways is going to just simply switch out back to his own Suicune. Go for Earthquake again. Now noticing how much bulk this Suicune has. It's not Vincoon, it's not the max speed, max HP, timid Suicune. This is actually Crocoon. Like, he's using Rest here. You know, very interesting thing, Crocoon in 2017. But hey, honestly, there's no such thing as a bad Suicune set. Unless you're like a Soulfest, then jump off a bridge. But that's besides the point. So anyway, back to the battle here. Highways is going to double to his Latios on the Swampert here. Take the, you know, avoid the Earthquake. Heysup is gonna send in his Weavile. Highways is gonna go for a Calm Mind here. He's gonna switch out. Thankfully, the Weavile did not go for Pursuit, either that or it lacks Pursuit. He's instead gonna go for an Icicle Crash. Icicle Crash was a decent neutral move. It was either that or Knockoff. Neither, honestly, was a bad play. So he's gonna go for Knockoff next on the Suicune. He's still asleep. You know, hopefully it doesn't Scald. He revealed he is Rest, Talk, Roar Suicune. So, you know, this is kind of decent for Heysup. The only issue is breaking this Suicune down. I mean, it doesn't do a lot, but it just sits there. He roars it out. It brings in Crocodile. So that's pretty good for him. You know, this is a free Scald opportunity. He's going to go to his Latios here. Highways is going to have his Latios take the Scald attack pretty easily. Fortunately, there's no burn on it. And Heysup switches out into his Togekiss, takes the Draco Meteor. Now, here is a very expert set of plays. He doubles to Swampert, predicting, scouting the Gigavolt Havoc, takes it, completely walls him. But let's keep going. He doubles back into Togekiss on the Draco Meteor. That was just a legendary set of predictions here. Highways is going to have his Latios Calm Mind. Togekiss hits him with an Air Slash. That does a surprising amount to a +1 Latios. He has to go back to his Swampert, hoping he's going for Thunder, but this time he's not with it. He's going for Psychic. I thought having Psychic on a Calm Mind Latios was kind of interesting, but you know what? I'm not knocking your hustle, Highways. I'm not knocking your hustle. So the Swampert's going to succumb to the Psychic. Heysup is going to go to Weavile to revenge kill Highways' Latios, finishes it off with a knockoff. This is a free opportunity for Conqueror to come in. Now notice that Heysup still has the Cofagrigus lurking in the cut. He still has the Togekiss. He still has the Mega Beedrill. He's going to Mega Evolve here. He's going to go for a U-turn, get the momentum. Conqueror actually stays in. You know, it could take any hit. He's going to go for knockoff. Unfortunately, he gets a critical hit. And what's crazy is that critical hit knockoff does half to a Togekiss. That's an insane amount of damage. So he uses Trick to steal an item back, predicting the Empoleon to switch in. So he stole Empoleon's leftovers because his choice specs were removed. You know, Specs Togekiss was actually a very interesting mon. So he's going to bring in his Weavile here on this Empoleon. Brought it in on a default, low kick as Empoleon sets up Stealth Rock. He's gonna kill it with a knockoff. Free opportunity for Conqueror to come in, only there's hazards up this time, so Conqueror's laying a big dent on whatever comes in next. He goes for Mach Punch, trying to finish off Weavile quickly. Doesn't want to risk taking an Icicle Crash and losing his Conqueror, understandable. Beedrill's gonna go for a Poison Jab here. Highways is gonna sack his Suicune to the Beedrill. Highways is going to then send in Crocodile to go for a knockoff. He cannot lock in a Pursuit because that'll just be a free turn for either Togekiss or Cofagrigus to take advantage and try to sweep. So he's going to bring in Weavile, go for the Ice Shard. It doesn't finish off Crocodile, but it does a huge amount of damage to it. Crocodile is going to keep going for knockoff. Another critical hit. That is very unfortunate for Togekiss, but this now gives him an opportunity to go to Cofagrigus. Because he has Ghost DMZ, he's going to be able to take the knockoff and still have some health to spare. This allows Cofagrigus to activate Trick Room. He goes for Hidden Power Fighting, which kills off the Crocodile. Heysup goes for the Ghost DMZ Shadow Ball on the Nidoking. Never-ending Nightmare. Pardon the lag, it destroys Nidoking. He got blown out of the park. All that's left is Conqueror. He goes for the Shadow Ball. It does not do enough, unfortunately. Highways takes the victory in a very close, clutch game. If Conqueror had a smidgen of chip damage, if it had like an extra round of damage from switching in a Stealth Rock, followed up by a round of burn damage, honestly, that Conqueror might have been dead a bit sooner than it would have been in this situation, or it would have been in KO range for Cofagrigus to sweep. Either way, it was a very delicate set of circumstances that allowed this Conqueror to remain in the game with 7 HP left after a Shadow Ball. I did the calculation. Even if he got a maximum roll with Shadow Ball, Conqueror would have still had about like 3 or 4% HP left. So really, it just came down to something simple as having Stealth Rock up on Highways' side longer that would have allowed him to take this to a game 3, but unfortunately he did not. Either way, very good games, both guys, Heysup and Highways. You know, congratulations Highways for moving on to round 2. Thanks for playing Heysup. You know, it was a pretty good series to watch, pretty good series to spectate. But yeah, so that was the first series that I've done for this tournament. Stay tuned for the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.